Hello students, we have already started our chapter number 4, that is heat, and in our last video we have discussed about the clinical thermometer and its how it is used and what are the precautions we have to take while using the clinical thermometer. Okay, so before starting the next topic, here are some questions. We will just discuss them. So the first question is, can you measure the temperature of boiling water with clinical thermometer? If yes, why? If no, why not? Okay, so we have seen there are two types of thermometers, clinical thermometer and laboratory thermometer. Okay, so both thermometers are for different purpose. So here is the question, why can you measure temperature of boiling water with the clinical thermometer? And the answer is we cannot measure the temperature of boiling water with the help of clinical thermometer, because the boiling water has the temperature 100 degrees Celsius. The boiling water of the temperature of boiling water is 100 degrees Celsius, and the range of clinical thermometer is, we know, it is 35 degrees Celsius to 42 degrees Celsius. If you see the thermometer, then you can see only this much marking is there on that thermometer. That means it's the range of that thermometer. So the temperature above 42 and the temperature below 35 cannot be measured by this thermometer. Okay, and if we use this thermometer to measure the temperature of boiling water, then this thermometer will break, okay, because of high temperature. So the range is very important. The range of thermometer is very important when we use a thermometer for measuring temperature of different bodies. Okay, so this is the reason that we cannot use clinical thermometer to measure the temperature of boiling water. Okay, okay, then let's see the next question. It is must to jerk clinical thermometer before to be used. Why? We have discussed in the construction of this and uses of this clinical thermometer that we have to jerk that thermometer before we use it. Why we have to jerk? Because it prevents the mercury level from falling its own, and the level of mercury in the stem remains the same. Now see what is the stem of the we can say stem of the thermometer. Now see, this is the clinical thermometer. You can see the kink here. This is the kink, and this part is known as the stem. This is the bulb where mercury is filled, and this is the stem of the thermometer. Okay, so this jerk that we give to the thermometer before use, it prevents the mercury level from falling its own. It cannot fall, and the level of mercury in the stem remains the same. Okay, suppose the level of mercury is here, it will remain here only. It will not rise or it will not fall. Why this happens? This happens because the kink is just above the bulb. This kink is just above the bulb, and when the thermometer is taken out of the patient's mouth, the mercury in the bulb contracts and the mercury column in the capillary breaks at the kink. So this column is continued from here, but as we take out the thermometer from patient's mouth, then what happens? The mercury bulb, this bulb get contracts because it does not get the heat, and it does not expands, but it gets contract, and then the mercury column of the in the capillary breaks at the kink, and this is the reason why we have to jerk a clinical thermometer before to be used. So whenever we use this clinical thermometer, we have to give a jerk. Okay, then next is at what temperature at what temperature degree Celsius and degree Fahrenheit are equal. We know that these are the two scales that we use to measure temperature in these are commonly used scale. Okay, there is certain temperature at which these both the temperatures or these both the scales are equal. Okay, now how we can show it, or how you can find that the which temperature is that. So there is one small calculation, we can do it. Okay, see, here is the reason, or here is, now see, suppose this degree Celsius and degree Fahrenheit, they are equal at certain temperature, but we don't know at what temperature. Then we will find out now. This is the formula we use for converting the Celsius into Fahrenheit and Fahrenheit into Celsius. There are two formulas, okay, that we have discussed already. So here we can put this C here, Celsius will put in the place of Fahrenheit. Okay, then C upon 5 is equal to C minus 32 upon 9. Then this by cross multiplication, this 9C will come this side, 9C, and then 5C minus 160. Okay, 5 into 32, that is 160. Then 9C minus 5C, 5C will come this side and is equal to minus 160. Okay, then 9C minus 5C is equal to 4C is equal to minus 160. Then C will remain here, 4 will come this side, minus 160 divided by 4. So what is the answer? When we divide this, we will get the answer minus 40. Okay, so minus 40 is the temperature at which this Celsius and Fahrenheit, both the temperatures are equal, both the scales are equal, sorry, at minus 40 degree Celsius and Fahrenheit, both the scales are equal. This is a very common question and general knowledge question, so you remember it. Okay, minus 40 degree at this temperature, Celsius and Fahrenheit, both the scales are equal. Okay, then next we have finished your question. One more question is there, but we will see it afterwards. Okay, then next topic is minimum and maximum thermometer. Okay, so minimum and maximum thermometer, it is also known as sixth thermometer, because it was invented by James Sixth. He was a British scientist and his name is given to this thermometer. So James Sixth, British scientist, discovered or invented this minimum and maximum thermometer. That's why it is also known as sixth thermometer. Okay, so how it works and what is the construction of this thermometer, that we are going to see now. Okay, so sixth thermometer is a U-shaped parallel tube. This is U-shaped parallel tube made up of glass, and this tube is attached to a wooden plate. Okay, then one side of the this tube measures the maximum temperature, and one side of the tube it records the minimum temperature. Okay, so minimum temperature is recorded at the left side and maximum temperature is recorded at the right side. Okay, then there is a bend, this bend is there. So the bend at the bottom of this thermometer, it contains mercury. You can see here mercury, this gray color. So mercury is here only in the bottom side. Okay, and it moves up or down based on the expansion and contraction of the alcohol. Now where is the alcohol? The alcohol is here at both the ends of this tube. It is filled with alcohol. Okay, also you can see here vacuum. This vacuum, one bulb is totally filled with alcohol and another bulb has a vacuum, or we can say small bulb of gas. Okay, bubble of gas, or we can say vacuum. Why this vacuum is here? because if we will fill this both the columns completely with the alcohol, then what will happen, there will be no space for moving this mercury or this alcohol. That is the reason we have kept here vacuum at this place. Okay, so the bend of the at the bottom, this bottom, it contains the mercury and it moves up and down based on the contraction and expansion of this alcohol. Okay, so when the temperature rises, the alcohol expands and it pushes up this mercury in the maximum column. When this alcohol expands, it pushes this mercury column in the maximum level. Okay, maximum column. And when the temperature falls, the alcohol contracts and it pulls the mercury up in the minimum column, resulting in a fall of mercury in the maximum column. See, when this mercury will be moved this side, then this mercury level will come down. Okay, and it will rise in this column, that is in the minimum side column. Okay, there are two steel markers you can see here located on the surface of the mercury in both the tubes. Okay, so they move along with the flow of mercury up and down. They move along with the mercury up and down. So when the temperature reaches its maximum level, suppose this mercury level reach up to here, that is, it is 30 degrees Celsius. Okay, so it reached up to here and the steel marker will remain here only. The steel marker will remain here only. This is the highest temperature of the day, and this mercury and as this temperature will fall, this mercury level will fall and it will rise in the minimum column. Okay, minimum temperature column this side. So this help then when this minimum level will be there, suppose here 25 degrees Celsius is the minimum temperature of the day, then this steel marker will remain here. So we can record this 30 degree as maximum temperature and 25 degree as the minimum temperature. So this minimum and maximum thermometer is used to record the minimum and maximum temperature of a day. You must have seen the newspapers or in the mobile or in the on the TV, news channels, they show minimum and maximum temperature of this of the many important cities of the world and our country. So they find out the minimum and maximum temperature of the day by using this thermometer. Okay, so this is, and the range of this thermometer is -28 degree Fahrenheit to 121 degree Fahrenheit, or in Celsius we can say -34 degree Celsius to 50 degree Celsius. Here the range of this thermometer is -25 to 40 degrees Celsius and -25 degrees Celsius to 40 degrees Celsius. So this is the Celsius scale thermometer, but in some thermometers both the scales will be there. In some thermometers only Fahrenheit scale will be there. So it depends upon the type of the thermometer, and also the range is also varies according to the model of that thermometer. Okay, so this is minimum and maximum thermometer. Okay, then we'll come to the laboratory thermometer. So what is the use of laboratory thermometer? Laboratory thermometer is used to measure the temperature of different objects. Clinical thermometer is meant for measuring the body temperatures only, but how can we measure then other temperatures? That is when we perform some experiments in the laboratory, that time we have to measure temperature of many liquids and many other substances. So at that time we measure the temperature with the help of this laboratory thermometer. Okay, now we will see the construction and working of this laboratory thermometer, how it's work and how it is made up of. Okay, So laboratory thermometer, it is consist of a thick walled fine bore glass capillary. This capillary is made up of fine bore glass. Okay, this glass is used because this tube or this fine bore glass tube is used for better accuracy. See, in laboratory the accuracy is very important, accuracy of the experiment. So when we take the temperatures, it should be accurate. Okay, and that's why this bore glass bore glass tube is used in the laboratory thermometer. It gives better accuracy. Okay, so this capillary tube has a small bulb at the one end, and at this end this capillary tube has a mercury bulb. It is filled with mercury, and that is pure mercury, and its stem is longer than the clinical thermometer. The clinical thermometer has the smaller stem, but the laboratory thermometer has the longer stem. Okay, and this stem is graduated in the degrees. Graduated means it has markings of these divisions, and its range is -10 to 100 degree Celsius. Okay, the range of the laboratory thermometer is -10 degrees to 110 degree Celsius, means it can measure the temperature from -10 degrees to 110 degrees Celsius. Okay, and it is used partially or fully immersed in the substance. So we can dip this thermometer in the liquid or the substance that we have to measure the temperature. Okay, so you can see here this is the glass stem, then this is the reading showing that mercury rises up to here, that means the temperature is 40 degrees Celsius. This is the mercury column, this is the glass stem, and this is the capillary tube made up of fine bore glass. Okay, so this is all about the laboratory thermometer. And also we can measure this freezing. This is the just common things I am telling you, that the 0 degree Celsius is the freezing point of water and the melting point of ice. That means at 0 degrees temperature the water freezes and ice starts melting. Okay, then 100 degrees Celsius is the boiling point of water. At 100 degrees Celsius water starts boiling. Okay, so this is all about laboratory thermometer. Then we have one more question, that is why there is no kink in the laboratory thermometer. We have just seen the construction of this laboratory thermometer, and there is no kink in this laboratory thermometer. Why? So the reason is, we have seen that the kink, it breaks the connection between the mercury and the capillary. Okay, it breaks the connection between this mercury bulb and the capillary, and mercury in the capillary, and the bulb containing it at lower end of the thermometer. So the mercury level has to go up and down continuously, so there is no kink. In laboratory thermometer, the temperature of that substance or the temperature of that liquid, it is continuously changing because of boiling or heating. Okay, so that's why there is no kink, and this mercury level has to go up and down continuously with the changing temperature. Okay, so this is the reason why there is no kink in the laboratory thermometer. Okay, so this is all about the thermometer, that is clinical thermometer, laboratory thermometer, and minimum maximum thermometer. So here we will stop, and in our next video we are going to discuss about the heat transfer, that is the modes of transfer of heat. Okay, till then take care, bye bye.